Hey guys, and welcome to A Pinch of Salt. We have our lovely crew here today. We have way at the back, we have Carl.
I'm over here now.
To my right, we have Adam. And I am Ben.
Hello. I'm reminding myself that I never get an introduction. It's like, this is Adam.
This is Adam.
It's
the end. The end.
So,
It will be a dark day when I give you an...
now it's been called out. I'm never going to get one ever again.
Needs no introduction.
Oh my God.
What else can I say? It's Adam. Done. Anywho, thank you very, very much for joining us. This is our 63rd podcast. We are still going strong, guys. Still going strong. Thank you for checking us out. Like, jump onto YouTube, subscribe to that shindig. There's a ton of other stuff that we've done on there. If you want to see some of the gameplay that we've done, if you'd like to recommend any of the stuff that you'd like for us to do, just jump onto Discord as well. But you can also access this specific podcast on all the podcast
Whatever podcasting
tools that you like. If there's one that we're not on, let us know, and we'll probably still not be on there.
I thought you were about to say, and we'll fix that. No, absolutely not.
Far too lazy
Plot
for
twist.
that. Just let us know. Like,
Fucking
okay.
Shyamalan twist. Yeah, okay, cool.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Thank you for telling us.
Good luck with that.
All right, let's jump straight into this situation.
Who are we kidding? We need every listener we get. Come on.
Don't worry, we'll fix it. Roz, you can start us off.
Yeah.
Any exciting
All right, my
events in your
so my update's probably going to be pretty expected and pretty quick. I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
Yes. I finished it since the last update. I finished it. I finished the first part of the raid that they released. I did the max level dungeons. It's all pretty good. I like it. The conclusion to the story was very satisfying. And I'm going to call it out here. It's top 5 Final Fantasy storylines of all time.
That's a big fucking call. That is a huge call.
Well, I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah.
I'll fight anyone that disagrees with me.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but...
Fight anyone.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'll fight you. No, it's good. It's real good. It's I would recommend it to everybody except for the problems that I've mentioned in the past of it perhaps not really landing with the same impact if you haven't played the storylines up to that point.
Leading up to it, right.
Right. So you it's great, but you are going to have to get through everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Your recommendation still stands of play it all.
My recommendation still stands of play it all. Just be aware that the weakest storyline comes first, which is not ideal, but that's just how it is.
That's the story.
Well, that's a lot of most MMOs, right? Like they're always kind of like
No. Because no, well, I mean, okay, well, let's say I'm a WoW veteran.
You're
right?
either in a predicament where either a game designer has a clear vision and a clear story they want to tell. So the first installment is good, is very good, because it's what they want to do and it's what they were thinking about doing. And then they progressively get worse as they get stretched for ideas, and it's like, oh, I don't know.
So that would make sense, but you're wrong. No. Okay, so let's talk about World of Warcraft. I'll promise I'll try and make this quick.
Okay, sure.
Let's talk about World of Warcraft. So when it came out, it barely had a story.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? It had a few, like, short stories that tied together a few things throughout the zones, but at the end of the day, the story was what you made of it.
Yeah.
You were a guy or a girl going through the world, and the story was whatever you made of it. Your story was your story. You were going around helping people out, making money, getting loot. That's just what it was, you know?
Yeah. That feels very first or second editions of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, it kind of was, and that's
murder hobo. You go in, you get treasure. Why you going on an adventure? Because you want treasure, motherfucker. That's why.
Yeah,
To get paid,
it's like sometimes you'd go up against sometimes you go up against the Scourge, sometimes you'd go up against the evil version of the Horde, but it was like you were just there because you were there. You were there because you were an adventurer. It didn't really have an overarching plot, and so slowly they started to bring more plot into it. It probably so some of the future expansions actually had coherent stories. Wrath of the Lich King was pretty good in that respect.
I've heard that is the one that people hold up as like peak WoW.
Yeah, and I'd probably agree with that. Cataclysm certainly had stories, coherent stories.
It certainly had a story. It didn't have one. We can't fault it. It did have one.
I didn't really enjoy them as much.
It was bad, but it had one.
I didn't really enjoy them as much. Mr. Pandaria had a decent story.
Okay.
Legion had Warlords of Draenor had an okay story, even if it was very kind of alternate dimension and didn't really fit.
Right.
But my point is, they're all of widely varying quality. Like some expansions had a decent, coherent story. Wrath of the Lich King, Mists, Legion. Some of them had a story, but it sucks. So, for example, the most recent expansion, Battle for Azeroth. It certainly has a story, and it's very front and center in the expansion. But I don't like it. Yeah, I don't think it's very good.
That's the I'm burning the world tree. But that's that one, right? Yeah. It's just like jumps the shark of being like, oh, it's on fire now.
Yeah, it's just sort of like characters do things because we need story, because we want the plot to move in a certain direction, because it actually makes sense.
And we need cool promotional art. Yeah, it does not make sense for characters to do so, but it would be cool if it happened. So it's happening.
So I know we've kind of tangented a bit here, but do you think that's because there's different writers to each of these expansions?
I was literally about to ask that.
Of course there is.
Because that's what would have to happen, right? Like, it's not the one person with their creative direction and this is my World of Warcraft story, so I'm going to be telling all these stories. It's just, we need another expansion.
Yeah, no.
John over there, give us a story.
Well, I don't think it's quite that bad.
They don't just pull a random dude off the internet.
My point is, each expansion, each kind of campaign has its own story writers, creative directors, and everything like that.
True,
not necessarily
and
the same.
I think this is where Final Fantasy XIV, at least narratively and world building wise, has an advantage in that it has had the same not necessarily the same writers, but the same producer ever since it was relaunched.
So there is a forward momentum. It's like having a Kevin Feige or something in your Marvel movie.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. So on the topic of Warcraft, still, Hearthstone's got a new expansion coming out.
Yeah, I saw in our card. Quick plug for our fucking Discord. But I saw heaps of chatter going on in our cards.
Yeah. Early on, I wasn't super excited about it, but that's mostly because I wasn't really playing Hearthstone at the time. Yep. They've released the set early to a bunch of streamers. I don't know how I feel about that.
That is new marketing, though.
I don't know how I feel.
That is
but it's also kind of going to stifle people's creativity on day one because they'll just copy the streamers.
I saw Firebat do this, so
this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. So but that said, now that I've actually seen the set in motion, so to speak, I feel a bit better about it. I think it's actually got some quite cool stuff in it. That
apparently there's some mad jank with like mages.
Oh yeah, mage. I think mages will be strong. We don't really know yet. Every class has a new quest. Some of them look busted. Some of them look terrible.
Okay.
It'll be the usual chaos that accompanies a release. And
for any
if you remember
trading game.
If you remember, just before the previous release, we were kind of psyched because Standard was rotating and it had a lot of really oppressive cards in it that we thought were gonna
get the fuck out of here.
That we thought were gonna mix things up a bit. Well, they did, but the resulting meta was also kind of restrictive, so it wasn't as bigger a thing as we hoped it would be.
Yeah. Okay, so to just tie it all back to your initial point, Final Fantasy XIV, fantastic. Everybody on the face of the planet should play it.
Right?
And it's still free if you want to play up to level 35. It is free.
Exactly right.
As long as you haven't played the game before.
Fantastic. Okay.
So if you want to play, come into the MMO posting channel on Discord and join us.
There's MMO posting, and then there's also cards for the Hearthstone's people. Yeah. And fucking MTG and Yu-Gi-Oh and whatever the hell.
There's everything. It's all there. All right, Adam, anything exciting? Can you top Final Fantasy XIV for us?
Well, I like the game that I'm playing currently. That's just me personally.
Is it top 5 Final Fantasy games quality?
I think he's a bit
There's been some bad Final Fantasy games, right?
Yes.
It's not... the thing is, it's different.
And there've been a lot of good Final Fantasy games that haven't necessarily had the best plot.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
But this is my favorite Fire Emblem game. I would just say that immediately that I'm talking about. I picked up Fire Emblem Three Houses. One, fucking hard to pick up. So I went to work in Melbourne for Monday, Tuesday. just to go down and help out a client with some stuff. So when I was down there, I was like, you know what? I was in Melbourne.
Wait, stop. Question.
Yes.
Why didn't you just download it?
Well, because it was more expensive on the eShop, because it always is.
Right. Okay.
And also because
by how much?
I've like $10-15. Like that's how it generally is. Like I got it for $60. The game is $60 in eBay in JB Hi-Fi.
Huh.
And I think it's
I was like, interesting.
So interesting thing as well is that the Switch internal memory is like tiny.
Yeah.
I installed Super Smash Brothers and it's like fucking
Most of it.
It's literally 60% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know you can add an expansion card.
I need to buy an expansion.
Yeah,
card,
you
put
do.
it in.
I've only been
But
putting
yes.
little games on mine.
But
Just like
at that point I was like,
Messenger.
oh. So yeah. I went, okay, I'm gonna buy a physical copy. Was in Melbourne, thought, you know, it'd be good for the flight back. I'll buy it while I'm here. It's just like a short walk from the hotel.
And they've got that EB Games in the city with the whole Nintendo shop section in it, right?
Yes.
So you went there?
Sold out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No.
When I asked, when are you getting more? And they're like, in maybe 3-4 weeks. And I was like, what? Whoa. And they're like, yeah,
Whoa.
we're getting 10 copies in 4 weeks. I was like, what? The fuck? Then I went to JB Hi-Fi, also all sold out. And I was like, I couldn't see anything, couldn't find it anywhere. Then went, and I kept hearing the same thing. Listen, Nintendo just has not given
Physical copies.
enough physical copies.
Yeah.
I don't think they thought this game would sell it that well. The EB Games that I went to said they sold out their stock within literal like hours of them coming in.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we don't know. I'm sorry.
Here's good old Nintendo thinking like a toy manufacturer again.
Yeah, no one
intentional
wants this.
undersupply.
Do you think that it could be a push to get everyone to just buy it on the eShop?
Maybe.
Or just like,
maybe
give them the eShop and the physical, but don't give them a lot of physicals that they have no choice but to go on the eShop.
I think it's also a miscalculation because a lot of the time, Nintendo does this a lot, mainly with Japanese original titles.
Yeah,
because even though Fire Emblem is much more popular in the West than others, but
they're
like
still like
they still don't think that like
it's that big.
Australia is going to give a fuck about Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
they probably so they go, they can just have some copies of it. It's
people,
sold out, gone.
People always underestimate Australia. We've got a big contingent of really, hardcore
dedicated
weebs over here. Yeah. So like, come on.
But yeah, so like I couldn't find it. Got back to Sydney. Went to another JB Hi-Fi, and they were just like, "Oh, we're sold out. And we're not getting anything until the end of August, and we don't know how many copies we're gonna get." And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, I'm going to look up in our system. And they looked up all the JB Hi-Fi stores in like the general
area.
Sydney city area. And there was one in the galleries, which is literally like,
it's like
for some reason, 10-minute walk
Yeah.
from the other JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah, they're all so close.
They're all very close. But so they said, this place has 2 copies left. I'll call them up and just see if they've actually got them or they've just haven't updated their stock. And they called and they were like, yeah, they've still got them. Can you put one on hold for this guy? He's going to come in like half an hour.
He's
and I just went,
literally traveled around the country for this game.
This fucking, they know physical copies. So if you, like, because I was like, I've liked Fire Emblem games. Like, I really liked Awakening. And so I was like, and I love tactical, like, turn-based strategy games. Loved Final Fantasy Tactics. Love playing XCOM, like all those style of games. So I'm a big fan, and I have enjoyed Fire Emblem, but it's not generally a game that I would run out and buy day one. I'd be like, I need to get my hands on Fire Emblem. It's like, if I need a new game, I'm like, hey, that's a fun, tactical, turn-based game. I'll buy that. And saw how fast it was selling out. It was like, if I want this fucking game, I gotta get it right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So I got it. I've been playing it. The game is great. It is, in my opinion, I just started playing on classic mode, which is like that you die, the unit disappears.
Yeah.
So you can either, barrel through it or save scum, either or. But it starts you at the start of the battle again.
Yeah.
But,
spoiler warning, he'll be save scumming.
I'm not that good. Actually, having said that, I've only had to reload the game like once or twice. And because generally if it's going down, it's a commander, and then the game restarts anyway. So whatever. But I'm also playing it on hard, so this is my
because of course you are.
Well, because like they basically said, no, I actually did read a review and they just said, well, they found that the normal mode was a little on the easy side.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, man, hard is like the mechanics. The tutorials are a bit rushed. Like sometimes it's hard to go back to them when I'm like, wait, what does that thing do again?
What am I supposed to do?
Because they've changed all of the fucking combat mechanics. So it's very similar. Like still you move and then you attack and then you get one attack and then they get a response attack and that very standard Fire Emblem stuff.
Yeah.
But this one is different because where they have the weapons, like the traditional weapon, like rock. Scissors, paper, rock kind of thing, where it's just like sword beats axe, and then axe beats spear, and spear beats sword. Or I think that's it from the top of my head. And then you're like, an archer's beat mounted and flying, and then mounted and flying can move faster, but has an advantage on ground troops.
Yeah.
Or like and it kind of builds out from there. But it's very simple. Of like generally a rock paper scissors style, like almost like a Pokemon kind of style of battle. That's all gone.
Yep.
It's all like, so axes and spears and stuff, like they do have differences, but like it's much more like
do individual
subtle.
Units still have weaknesses to particular types of weapons or just not?
Yes, but that's class based.
Right.
So classes have weaknesses against certain things.
Okay. Right. As opposed to all axes as being weak and all.
So like a priest with an axe won't be weak against a sword, for instance, but they might be weak against something else. And an axe user that is a fighter is definitely not going to be weak against a sword.
Yeah.
Like, because they're a fighter. Like, and then they track things differently, like damage scales. Like you've got an action, so you've got your move speed and you've got your action. It's called AS, and I just assume that's called action speed.
Yeah.
But basically, it's how fast you swing your weapon. So, or cast your spell or do whatever it is. So when you attack, if you are 5 points higher, and generally like I'm right at the start, so my action speed of my standard characters are like 2, 3, 4 kind of thing. Some of my characters I've managed to class up earlier to speed characters. They may be around like 9. I've started facing thieves, which are like can be up to like 13.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure it scales more, but like I'm still playing with low numbers.
Fairly early stuff.
But if you're more than 5 in front, you get 2 swings. So you attack, they get a response, and then you attack again.
Okay.
So that's how you fuck stuff up. Or you play like I've got one of the main lords and made her like a big bulky, like given her armor like given her a shield, and basically as she's progressing, she is becoming proficient in shit that makes her not take as much damage.
Yeah.
So things are running up to her and stabbing her, and it's just like 3 damage, and then bam, and like
just nail them.
Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And there's also lots of terrain. I can't remember how much terrain plays a part in Awakening and other Fire Emblem games. This is super critical, like because they'll give you additional bonuses to your evasion chance and stuff. So like,
it's over. I have the high ground.
Absolutely,
That's
definitely
exactly it.
So like it's a lot more complex than a standard Fire Emblem game, which for a while I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna have to relearn this. But it's really fun. It's really engaging.
Okay.
The game is like if you like tactical like turn-based strategy games, this is so far I've played like this is a review on like probably 6 hours or 5 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
But then the fucking intro takes forever. But like you're just going through speed talking and stuff. But yeah, about 5 hours or so. But the game's fucking great.
Oh yeah,
I absolutely love it.
I'm actually tempted to give this a try. Well,
it's really fun.
Okay, question: Is it similar to Roz's Final Fantasy situation? Do you need to play the previous games?
No. Okay, so the cool thing is with Fire Emblem, each Fire Emblem game is a standalone experience.
Yeah.
Some games reference others, like Awakening references the hero King Marth, who is Marth from... I mean, most people like Smash Brothers, but like, yes. But Marth from the original game.
Yeah.
So there's like the first ones are a flaw. I think there's the first few Fire Emblem games are the same characters or their children or like in that same world.
Related to, yeah.
Like this one is like... The land is different. Everything is just it's different. A different world.
Okay.
And they're kind of getting to that point in Final Fantasy where it could be related. It could be like tied into pre-existing countries and lands. But quite often it's like it's like Final
its own
Fantasy.
thing.
It's a different universe.
Okay.
This
that's cool.
This one especially.
That's
this
cool,
one has no relation.
Because I enjoyed. I think the only tactical based game that I've played was Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that one. So like, I definitely think it would.
In
be
my
worth,
opinion, this
worth
game.
a try.
I mean, that one's pretty. I mean, that's a pretty high bar to clear. To be honest,
It's a
that
good
game's
game.
pretty good.
Tactics was
Yeah.
okay.
I think this game is better than
There you go, Carl.
Okay.
That
Well,
bar
no,
has
no.
been cleared.
No, I mean,
told.
Adam
no,
has said it
like,
right
no,
here.
Personally, I like Fire Emblem more
Yes.
because the enemy having a right of responsive attack means you can't just like gang up and then just run
Wail
at
on
them
them.
and be like, well, I'm stronger. So you have to figure out the order in which you're attacking because you want to soften them up with range and then move in because you don't want your frontline units. If you can
Jumping
find a
straight in.
way to avoid your frontline units taking damage,
Then you do that.
then you do that.
Yeah.
So like there's a bit more strategy between like
more tactics.
where you just run up and hit and then you get a turn and then they get a turn.
Okay.
So it's a bit like it is different to other tactic games like that, but it's like I love it.
Okay.
But the story.
Okay.
Yes,
Here we go.
Exactly. I was going
Here we go.
to lead in to say now for the part that we've all been waiting for.
The story's-
controversy.
the story-
Because what cast of salt do we have without controversy?
Oh well, okay. So I'll get to the controversy afterwards.
Oh, okay. There's more before. Okay.
No,
my
this
bad.
is the story.
Jump the gun.
No, this is just the story. This is just the story,
the story
of the game.
of the game. Right.
The game.
Okay.
Story's great so far.
Is it Adam? Is it really?
Yeah, it's great. It's peak Japan. It's fantastic. So you basically rock up. You are like a mercenary, and you're with who they don't kind of say it until like a character asks you, and your answer is basically yes. And I didn't know, but like there's an older dude with you, and you're like as another mercenary,
Right.
and he's like your mentor,
Right.
and then someone's like, "Oh, is that your dad?" And then your answer is like, "Yeah, it is."
Yes.
And I was like, "I didn't know you look nothing alike." I don't know, like that's my dad apparently, and that's so it is your dad.
it was like,
you,
deal
you're
with it.
just not told.
Done.
It was a weird way of introducing that character as your father because
Yeah.
you've been seeing him and he's been teaching you the basics of the game for the past 40 minutes. And then be like, he's actually your dad.
At no point does it
Okay.
make any reference to relation.
Like you're like a mercenary, and then you like stumble upon and save these kids at a nearby school, like a military officer school, and then they're like, "Hey,
that's very Japan in itself. That trope.
yeah."
The
Yeah.
military school.
Yeah, and then you need to go. It's basically Hogwarts, and then you get listed. Even though you're a child, and that's part of the thing that I haven't gotten to yet. They're like, you're given a position as a professor, as like a teacher at the school, because
No.
by saving them, you're like, so like basically they're like this guy is
fantastic.
fucking crazy at
Yeah.
tactics. Like he's a tactical genius. Hire this man. So
again,
and then basically you pick a house to be the captain, the head teacher of their house, and then you basically work with that house. You interact with the rest of the students as well, but you are focused on that house and growing those characters.
Just tying it back to the Hogwarts analogy, very much a Harry Potter thing to do. Like if any other show or series would make a child a teacher, I'm like, yeah, Harry Potter checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but it's a lot of fun. There's 3 houses. Apparently, I saw some stats coming out that the red house is the most popular house based on the gifts because you can gift other players to people online,
Right.
to like lend them like your character, like on or any of the characters you have gotten to that point. And one of the most characters that is
Lent
given
characters
over
is
is the Lord from the red house, which is the female of the 3 of the titular characters on the front.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's pretty cool because I also played red.
Yeah.
Because of course,
though,
you do.
Having said that, okay, so it actually
So what? It's
like,
red, blue, and
yellow. Red, blue, yellow.
Okay.
And it works exactly the same as Pokemon Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. Red House is super stern. Blue House is the
intelligence and
red is
uprightness.
kind of more intelligence because you've got more like mages and shit in red.
Okay.
But blue is like noble chivalry.
Right.
The paladin house.
Yep.
And gold is the chill.
We do what we do.
Yeah, chilled, laid back house.
Yeah.
They don't have like the other. They're the only ones that are like an alliance of like commoners. They're not like
Not a
nobility
hierarchy.
and shit.
Not
Yeah.
a.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to totally...
Oh, boy.
I was going to do exactly what I did in Pokemon Go as well, and I was going to fucking go gold. And then I was like, Nah, I looked at the screen of like all the characters that you get for each house and was like, because it was just on the inside of the game, so it just showed all the portraits of all the characters and their coloring behind it, and I was like, kind of like some of the portraits in red, they kind of look like interesting characters, so I just picked that. But
fair enough.
We'll see what happens.
Good a reason as any to pick a class.
How very superficial of you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so fucking funny. So okay, I told you guys off camera that I had a great story about how good this is. So if you've ever played a Fire Emblem game, you would know that our romance options are a constant thing in the game. It's a staple that's always been there.
Well, I haven't, but they do have that reputation.
They do. The cool thing is though,
burn your students.
Well, okay.
It's like
Vin just goes straight there. Holy smokes!
So I've not gone to this point yet.
Forget the whole duty of care.
Generally, that's what I realized halfway through. I was like, you've made this story very awkward now because I know there's going to be a relationship thing because it's a Fire Emblem game, and somehow that these are now my students and I need to take care of these people.
It's like,
what the fuck?
The hot chick with big boobs.
So okay, I've got some funny shit as well. Okay. So basically what happened is I joined up with the Red House and there was a whole bunch of characters and I was like, okay, cool. And for this playthrough I'm playing a male character and the next one I'll do female. But so there was a couple of funny things. One was that I, immediately after settling in was like, okay, cool. So I start talking to characters, and immediately I found a few. I was like, yeah, this one. I'm like, you're scoping out which one. You're like, hey. Which one do I want to? Which one do I want to? Yeah, it's the fucking. It is the shoulder touch. Which one do I want to? Which one do I want to shoulder touch? But the funny thing is, and so the reason that you actually kind of give more of a shit about relationship stuff in this, that if you get a relationship, it's possible to not have a relationship with anyone. But if you do, a lot of the games actually have a time skip, or Awakening definitely did. They have a time skip forward, and your children become playable characters, and your children change depending on
who that romance
so the same
with.
Child characters are the same, but their models always change of like their hair color depending on what your hair color is, or and generally in Awakening there was a wave of children, so like these characters would always pair up together and create a child. Unless
you basically
sharked.
You had something to do.
Unless you
ruined everything.
And then it rejiggers whose child is who.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm assuming something is similar that in this game as well. I'm just waiting because generally the relationship mechanic actually has a tangible mechanic in the game. So quite often you're like, well, that character kind of pairs with that one well, and maybe that'll work out kind of thing. So there's something, but you're still boiling down love to tactics, but like, whatever. That's Fire Emblem.
Hey, political marriages. Yes. This is very much the thing of those times.
So there were a few characters.
How very Crusader Kings of you.
Yeah, so I'll get up a list of the characters.
You know what that just made me think of?
Yes.
Like, obviously our listeners won't know it so well, but you can look it up. Dean Edwards doing the Denzel impersonation. It's just like, just standing in the corridor watching girls go past until he finds the one he wants. It's like,
So I've got up the list of the houses. I'm like on the screen in front of the guys, and I've picked Black Eagles, which is the red house.
Yep.
Hang on, that doesn't make sense.
House.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Black Eagles is the red house, blue lions, and then golden deer. I don't know why they didn't call them red eagles, but whatever. Like blue,
also,
gold, and black.
Okay, never mind.
Well, they're all wearing the same uniform.
Same uniform except from the captain-y leady.
The captains
person
always
has a
wear
cloak.
their cloaks,
the coloured cloak,
but everyone just wears the school uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, so I picked this one. So I have immediately was like, cool. So there's a few characters in there that I was like, oh, cool. Like I'll see which one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 women in the Black Eagles.
Yep.
For some reason, I don't know in this game or not whether it's possible to
multiple
have
relationships
or have a same-sex relationship. I'm not sure.
It is.
It is.
I did hear that.
I heard that too. Although I've been looking in the game and being like, because generally it's denoted by if you can get to S rank with someone, like. But in some combinations of people can only progress a certain limit. And I was like, well, I don't have a lot of S ranks for the male characters, so I'm not sure whether it's some male characters or it's all. I don't know yet. But basically, I was like looking through, and then there was a few characters, a typical Japanese kind of thing, where like these are all students about the same age, apparently, like within a few years. And there's one character that I was like
stands out.
One character I was like, cool, and I was like, oh, she's kind of a bitch. Okay, no, next. Talked to another character, was like, so it's this one here, was like, she's fun, but kind of looks a bit young, and I was like, that's a bit...
I'm uncomfortable with this.
I'm uncomfortable here.
Remember, your character is also quite young.
Yeah, well, they even point that out in the game, and I was just like, oh. Like, you're the same age as us. And I was like, Jesus. Like, even in the...
They're trying to make the player feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. It's so weird.
Weird sexual situation
and then, so I found
with
another girl,
children.
and I was like, so I was talking to one of the characters, Petra, and I was like, I like this chick.
Cool.
This chick's cool. So, getting to like at the point you're getting to know everyone. So like, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a special effort with Petra.
Right?
And started. And then
Here we
is
go.
a tab that like lets you see summaries of like all of their abilities and their actions and their strengths and all that kind of stuff. And then there's another on their personal, like what they like and dislike.
Yeah.
And their like typical Japanese shit.
Simulator.
Their height and their age and their weight and stuff.
Yep.
And then they're all within a few years. So obviously the game will time skip forward, so it's not going to be like too weird. And I was like, okay, just to make sure I put the nail in Bernadette's coffin. She's like 14 or something, and it was like 17. And I was like, that's higher than what I thought they would give this game. Looked at Petra, I was like 15. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what? God damn it!
Why would you do this?
So also, Petra looks much like she looks one of
more
the
mature and
older people in the cast of characters, and I was like, really, game? Are you gonna fuck me like this?
Yes.
It's so, I immediately was like, I'm a scumbag now. Then I was like, looking at Petra, I was like, should I just stop talking to her now? I feel bad.
He's gonna ghost Petra.
Guess what? This is the cherry on top
of the cringe sundae.
When you go to your character sheet and your age and weight and height and
you're like
all
12.
stretch, no, age is question marked out. It says unknown because it's just like, yeah, man, we don't want to like.
You can make it whatever age you want.
Absolutely being like, no, man, whatever.
Like, we're not touching this. This is
bad.
This is all on you now.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, man.
We've just given you this story. You play it how you want.
Oh,
not on us, guys.
Oh my god,
not on us.
I was like, oh my god, this feels so cringe.
Hey, Adam, what rating did this game get in Australia?
I don't know, probably like
knows. It's just,
no.
You're lucky it got released in Australia.
There will 100% be a time skip, and it'll be like there will like this game. Maybe it's fine in Japan, and I'm just like, I don't know, but.
You're too PC, man.
I'm hoping to God at some point you get fired or there's something. You are not their teacher anymore, and you are all a suitable ages for each other. So I was like, man, I don't know. There's some shit in here that I'm not feeling super comfortable with.
Okay, just one more point that you made earlier on, and then you followed up. You were saying that there's time skip, and then pairs up, and then children get involved.
Yes.
You mentioned same-sex relationship.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
How does that work in terms of the whole children situation?
Well, you can adopt. I don't know.
It's a forward-thinking nation.
Why not? That's our child.
I'm just curious as to the mechanics of it is all.
And then they probably my guess it would be exactly the same.
They would
just be like, this is their child, and they have same abilities because they train
because they grew up with them.
Obviously,
and stuff like that.
nature versus nurture. I'm sure it's fine.
They'll have some explanation
I'm sure
to
it's
it.
just like whatever.
Insert video game logic here.
Well, it makes perfect sense. Like anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Carry on. Moving on.
It was funny. Okay, cool. Before we've been going on this for way too long.
Oh,
but
geez,
what I want to do is I want to show you all the teams, and I want you to pick out who you just like that one.
Okay.
Because
if you were to pick a love interest,
a love interest.
Right.
Also, I want to say runner up for me was in Blue Lions, Sylvain. I was like, that man is dreamy as fuck. I saw the photo and I was like, boy, oh boy.
like right down your alley of the whole Cillian Murphy sort of situation.
Female men. Okay, yeah, feminine men. Dreamy feminine men. He's very dreamy.
Man,
That's your thing.
I'm not
He's
gonna.
an awesome character too.
I don't want to participate in this. This thing.
Let's do this.
All right.
That's also a dude, but he's also pretty dreamy. Point at Felix for everyone. I'm just gonna call the names out and people can just Google these shit.
You can look them up. Ooh, okay. I think this is a tough choice.
There's again. There's a lot of attractive men in this world. There's plenty for everyone in this game.
Like they cater to all tastes.
Actually, honestly, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, I was going to say there's more men than women. To be honest,
just sussing out all the guys. Just like, actually, maybe this guy would do. Okay, maybe this one.
Adam, your top 5 is 4 men.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay?
I am aware.
That's just how I roll. All right.
Oh, I don't know, man. This is tough choices.
I don't know a lot of these characters. That's the thing.
Yeah,
because you haven't been in their
house.
Yeah,
exactly. I want to say Petra's adorable because she doesn't. She is what you're speaking is English or whatever common basic language, and she's from
different
vassal state.
Yeah.
And they speak a different language.
Yeah.
So her joke is that like she tries really hard to speak common language, and she just like gets it wrong all the time.
Yeah.
It's
So
fucking great.
Did they give her voice actor an accent?
Can I have a look at
yeah, she has kind of like a clipping.
Okay.
Like just a generic.
All right, do I get to pick from the teachers instead?
I think you can. I think you can.
Let's see names.
Catherine's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go Catherine. Like just purely off the pictures.
Well, that's the thing.
Wait, no.
She's a.
They're all pretty freaking good. Like
Catherine. Well, some of the things is
this is like Tinder for.
It's like, it is basically playing Fire Emblem Tinder at this
I'm
point.
going to spoil this for you, Ben. They generally don't tend to put unattractive characters in these games.
That is true. Catherine's awesome too. She's literally like the fucking knight with the. Like, I played in a match where she's like an ally character, and she just hit something like, I'm doing just like 8 damage a turn. She hit something for 86. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Catherine? Please chill.
Please don't kill me. I am instantly terrified and turned on.
I'm fucking with you.
So she's like the unstoppable... unstoppable fighter.
It's like
yeah, she's like one of the knights.
The ceiling, it's showing you the power ceiling of going. This is how strong she gets.
She even has like a legendary relic, like this weird ass sword that I don't know much about. But like she has this super powerful sword, and it's like bang, kills everything one shot. You know,
deals triple damage.
Basically, it's fun. But yeah, game's great.
Okay.
Game's really fucking fun.
I was actually just watching a video talking about character progression and power progression and stuff like that, and that's a very good technique of telling a good story of going, this is how powerful you can get. You're not there yet, but this is what you can aspire to, and like showing that early game is a very good way to get people very invested.
That's what
into
Mega Man
the story.
does. Mega Man does that really well. Mega Man X does that well.
X does that so very well
because you see Zero, like you're getting the shit kicked out of you,
and he
Zero
just comes in,
he's like pow, 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 and you're like, oh my god,
dashes in,
and you get those powers at the end as well.
Yeah.
You get all those powers. And then there was another one with even in the actual D&D games we have played, that our DM has done that to us.
Exactly right.
So immediately we got dropped in, and we you do a little mission, clear out some wolves, kill some things.
Next mission.
Return in. No, not even that. We turn up and we see a fucking lich
in
session 1 of level 3 characters, and we're just like, okay, we're all fucking dead. And we just
gonna sit here quietly, fingers crossed nothing happens.
He doesn't kill us all. Well, that's the thing of letting people know that the world is much
bigger than your own little
a gradual power scale, because then it's like, hey, that lich is doing some bad shit. If we go, we're gonna get murdered by it. But we will one day get to that power to fight that thing.
Exactly right.
And that's like a goal forward.
Exactly.
How many RPGs or JRPGs have unwinnable battles in the beginning of the game?
Yeah, which is
very many of them. You start off, you fight this big bad that just wipes the floor with you. You somehow manage to survive, and then you're just like, okay, now I have motivation. I know what I need to work towards. Freaking Ninja Gaiden does that, where the first fight, you can do as well as you will kick butt, and then you end up dying. It's a very common trope because it's a very good technique.
There's also another interesting twist on that you saw in Metroid Prime, where you actually start with your
With
with a lot of the end game items, and then lose them in the tutorial.
Exactly.
Oh god.
So
Okay, so I don't like that as much simply because that is, instead of me thinking I can grow to be that, it's like I used to be that and now I'm this down here.
But the difference
like that's
there
not as
is
fun.
that the difference there is that you as a character aren't actually getting physically stronger or more powerful. It's things that, like, techniques that you need to learn or equipment that you're reconfiguring or something. So in a world like Metroid where you can't grow to be like a god level powered individual yourself, that makes sense because it's going
You're gear-based,
This is how you're showing that power ceiling.
And a lot of other things do that in a way of just saying like, hey, remember that this game is also a sequel and you ended the game. Canonically, they had all the cool shit at the end of the first game. Yeah. So they got to find a way to lose that shit so we can have a second game.
Yeah.
or in the previous Metroid cases, they just don't acknowledge it.
You never had that. You never had that.
It didn't happen. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Let's carry on. Next controversy, please. Actually, this isn't actually controversy. This is just EA being EA.
We're getting after.
This is just a bit of fun we're gonna have at the end of the podcast. We're just gonna be able to all sit around and laugh at big AAA companies.
Yeah, so
that's fun, right?
After heaping praise on 2 AAA companies, we're now going to heap scorn on some others.
Yeah, absolutely. Nintendo and
Square.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic. But now, speaking of Nintendo again, so actually, I might throw over to Carl. I think you have a bit more context around this than I do.
Oh right, yeah. Okay, so everyone knows the Nintendo Switch by now, right? It's a great little system.
It's
everyone in this
is fast as becoming one of the best selling systems of all time.
Everyone currently in this room owns one.
Yes.
Yep, it's
correct.
They're great.
Yeah, they're great. So you may have noticed that there's not many EA games on Switch.
Yep.
If you go to their webpage and you go and you see Switch software, they've got 2 FIFA games and 2 indie games.
Let's have a look.
Don't spend too much time trying to find it, but
no, you keep going.
2 hours later.
Yeah, but they have 2 FIFA games and 2 indie games. So FIFA is FIFA, and the indie games are, I don't really know what the go is there, but like, do we even publish that many indie games?
Not really.
Anyway,
No, they really don't.
Did you try Library?
Library.
Yeah.
Maybe Library. And then we can filter by thing. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Keep going.
Platforms. There you go.
Platforms.
Nintendo Switch.
There we go. Okay, Nintendo Switch. We have
a whole
FIFA 19. We have Unravel 2. We have
official site.
FE. No,
FE. Whatever that is.
And
FIFA 18.
FIFA 18. Excellent.
Excellent library right there. So, all right. So
Unravel's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Unravel.
Somebody I'd like. Where did this happen again, Adam? Did this happen at like a?
It was a interview.
Quarterly. Oh, it's a financial call. That's right. Okay, so somebody asked him, why doesn't EA put more games on Switch?
Yeah.
And the answer that he gave, I guess it's reasonably reasonable, but the way that it was delivered, like, can this man speak English?
No.
Let's get some choice quotes here.
So the first thing is, basically, in the quarterly financial call, basically his quote was, "We have a lot of data that would suggest that a great many Switch owners also own a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or a PC, and very often choose to play the games that we make on those platforms, even though they have a Switch, and they enjoy a lot of great content on the Switch." So immediately that raises the point of like, yeah, they're not buying your game on the Switch because it's not on the Switch.
You have 4 games on the Switch, guys.
They have other, because I understand the point he's trying to make is he's saying like, we already make, like, people buy our games on other platforms already, and what they're reading between lines is like, they don't think they're going to make enough money
to justify
putting a thing out on the Switch when people are going to want to buy it on a different console anyway.
I mean, and to be perfectly honest, I think he actually has a bit of a point there. Like, are people clamoring for Mass Effect Andromeda on Switch? No. Are people clamoring for Anthem? On Switch?
Yes.
Everybody wants
Yes.
Anthem on Switch.
I want
That is the
portable
sole
Anthem.
reason I would have bought a Switch if Anthem was
If
there.
only Anthem was on the Switch.
Why
It's
did
the
you
sole
buy,
reason
why
I'd
did you
buy
buy this,
Anthem.
Adam?
I don't know. I
No,
wanted it to be good.
It looked very promising.
and it's a good
very
and
early
it's a
on.
really good skeleton. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a skeleton.
It has
nothing
no,
else.
it doesn't have enough content.
I think this is a thing of their own doing, though, right? So
Yeah.
to this point of people don't want to buy these things on Switch because it's on everything else. That's probably true because they didn't. To your point earlier on, they didn't put it on Switch. I think if it was available on Switch from early on, or if they do that now, give it another 6 months, then people will be like, yeah, this makes sense for me to have it on the Switch. But while they're sticking to their guns of, oh no, people already have these other consoles, then it's just not going to change.
Exactly. Well, not just that. Okay, let's think about what games get really popular on the Switch. A lot of them are Nintendo first-party titles that were designed for the hardware up front.
Yep.
Yes.
But a lot of them, indie games, but also previous generation games.
Yes, absolutely.
That aren't going to be as intensive, as held back by the hardware.
Would
as
you
current
like
generation.
Final Fantasy VII for a small amount to play portably? Yes, I would like that a lot.
So EA. Let's think about some games that EA have in their backlog that might fit that category. Have you ever heard of a little game called The Sims?
Yeah.
Oh,
Imagine playing The Sims
Dude,
on the Switch.
yeah. That's exactly right.
Like those kind of things are amazing because, like, I don't really like sitting down. Like, old
like
man. I don't have time to fucking sit down. If I'm sitting down to play a game, I'm going to be playing like a more intensive kind of gaming experience. A lot of those really fun, casual gaming experiences, like, I just don't have time for, like Minecraft and stuff. That makes a perfect mobile thing for me.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on the train, I don't necessarily want to be like
Focused
grinding on something.
Yeah.
Playing a little bit of Minecraft, playing some FIFA.
Yeah.
Playing fucking The Sims.
And
the bet would be so good.
And
that's amazing.
Actually revisiting my comment from earlier, Mass Effect Andromeda actually wouldn't be that bad of a fit because it's a single-player, story-driven game that you can I can put down.
Yes.
Like, I don't think... I think majority of their games...
I think your comment was just because it wasn't very good. But, like...
I think the majority of games, unless it's like an online competitive game, will work fine on the Switch simply because of that ability to just go... I'm just going to take this with me. Or I can put it down. I pick it up later. Like, I don't think the Switch is a barrier in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't think most of these EA games will be as suitable for a Switch as most Nintendo games. But I don't think there's anything to stop these games from being enjoyable and playable on them.
So, yeah. So, my thought as well is because they keep making references to Apex Legends. They're like, Apex Legends.
No, it's not for... I don't think Apex Legends would be as suitable. Like, in my mind, because
it is like that's the funny thing is it is always online.
Yeah.
So it's a game that you're like, and the thing is, the Switch uses Wi-Fi to connect, so you can't really have unless you had a way to put a SIM card into it.
Yeah.
And actually just have it
play it online as you're going around.
Then it's going to be harder to get the functionality. Having said that, though, Fortnite is on the Switch and it does fucking gangbusters.
Yeah.
It does crazy numbers on the Switch. So
Yeah.
people fucking play.
To my
those
earlier
games.
point, there's no barrier. Like, you can play Apex Legends on it because when you're playing Apex Legends, you're playing it at home. You're already not going around playing it on the train or anything. You're playing it at home. So if you want to play it at home on the Switch, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's
not the best fit.
It's not the best fit for the Switch. But they have a lot of other things that will be perfectly suitable. And Sims is such a fantastic example of that. It's just, I want to take it with me.
Let's put our tinfoil hats on for a minute. What if the reason that they don't want to port all these things to the Switch is that they can't find a way to monetize them as much as they want to?
So how would that... So I thought of this as well. What would be the blockers to them being able to monetize like they do on Xbox?
I don't know if there are any. Well, I mean, then again, there is only
family friendly, and they would probably have a big problem.
More restrictions
having
around
games that shove loot boxes and
whatnot.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
There is only one game on the Switch that I have actually purchased DLC for. That was Smash Brothers, and I did so not through the game's interface, but through the store.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how Fortnite works on the Switch. I can only assume.
I imagine it would still be very much an
in-game thing.
In-game.
I mean,
In-game?
it's got loot boxes, surely.
It does.
Yeah.
Surely.
But that's still, it's manageable. I think...
But I think Fortnite gets a bit of a pass, though.
Why?
Because that's
Why?
their thing, right?
Because
they're so big.
Fortnite. They're
Yeah.
so fucking
Is it the
huge.
same reason that FIFA gets a pass? Because remember, FIFA's all in on this shit now as well.
Absolutely.
It's monetized like the base game was free.
But the thing is, though, FIFA doesn't pull crowd numbers, and it hasn't been a cultural tidal wave.
Are you
Fortnite
seriously
has.
telling me that FIFA is not a cultural touchstone in gaming?
It is a
No,
touchstone,
it is,
but it's been
but
it's like a
it
pillar.
hasn't
Like
had
there's a game every year, and it's
a
you can always
constant.
count.
It's
you
always
can always
there.
count on a FIFA game.
But it has not had the social impact that Fortnite has.
Millions of people don't tune in to fucking watch FIFA tournaments.
Or a 16-year-old win $3 million.
Yeah, okay, that's probably
Yeah. And the thing is, there are absolutely, because I've seen them, competitive FIFA competitions. And they're very brutal.
Yeah.
But nobody,
It's not to the same scale.
It's not to the same
It's not
scale.
a social norm. You don't have parents legitimately worried about their kids screwing up their lives over FIFA rather than
but you
over
do now.
Fortnite.
But you
not
do
to
now.
the same extent as
Yeah,
Fortnite.
no.
I know people that are like, I am having troubles keeping my kid off of Fortnite to the extent that they're violent. And they
all right, okay, yeah, fair. Fair. Sorry, we're talking about separate things.
Fortnite pitches itself a lot lower
Yeah.
than what age demographic than what FIFA does. FIFA Ultimate Team.
FIFA's rated age 3 and up.
I know, but the thing is, that's because it's a sport game. It's going to go for the lowest rating it can. But I can't see many 8-year-olds playing FIFA Ultimate Team.
You reckon?
There would be. There would be, but not in this country. That would be much more of a thing for
the UK.
The thing is, that would be much more dangerous in Europe and the UK for sure. But also at the same time, it's a more of a collectible card game thing rather than
actually playing,
rather than actually skins and stuff, which is much more bright and colorful, and loot boxes. Well, I mean, they have loot boxes as well.
How young was I when I started playing Magic the Gathering? I can't remember.
But the thing is, it's not nearly
that
as
was a money sink for my parents. Holy shit!
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I clicked Warhammer. My parents fucking know.
The point is, yes, FIFA has its social impact.
Yeah. Now, where was I going with this? Yes. So the Ultimate Team business. There are stories filtering out of the UK. I would say this is where most of them actually come from. Of kids that had spending thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Trying to get their team together, and when EA is called up for comment, they don't apologize. All they do is they send the parents a list of how to safeguard your account against
your
untoward spending
too much. Yeah,
and I'm just but that's a different topic. That's
So my point is, Fortnite is bigger in the sense of A, the numbers, and B, the social impact. As a whole, it's not just a monetary thing anymore. It is a social thing. It has an impact on the kind of dancing people do.
Okay, so let's tie this together. When the Switch was first announced 2 years ago, or first released 2 years ago, announced 3 years ago, in the lineup of developers and publishers that would be working with Nintendo, EA was conspicuously absent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think at the time people maybe thought it was a little bit strange, but were willing to sort of
just roll with it
because it's sort of Nintendo really haven't had the best track record lately. Their best console's the 3DS. The Wii U was nobody bought it.
The Wii was so good though,
but it also wasn't the sort of
console that
on which EA were really
serious
targeting
gamers would be on. Yeah. Anyway.
What are you looking up, Adam?
You guys keep going. I've got some fantastic Wii U slams.
Okay, right. So now we're here in the year 2019 at time of recording. The Switch has outperformed outperformed everyone's expectations.
Yes.
Everyone's, even Nintendo's
Themselves.
own first-party expectations.
Yes.
And EA is still
Not on board.
still not on board. They're still not into it. They're putting FIFA on there because they basically have to.
It's just get everything out. Like FIFA's everywhere.
But their other releases, they're just not interested.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, to your point of monetization
Yeah.
question, I think it's definitely a money question of, does this make business sense to us? But in my mind, I'm like, if you can sell your games on that platform, then it makes sense. But I'm guessing their strategic view of it is that the amount that it's going to cost them to get it onto Switch is going to outweigh the benefits.
Now on that topic, this is pure speculation, but EA have their own. They don't use. I think a lot of the times they don't use industry standard engines. They have their own proprietary stuff, and I wonder how much of a barrier that is to porting.
Right.
Yeah.
And that maybe
it's very bizarre as well, because like FIFA gets often stripped down versions, like from graphics, and also they fucking take modes out and stuff for the Switch versions of the games.
Yeah.
Like they get a significantly downgraded experience.
Yeah.
Which also sucks because, like, I don't know. It just seems bizarre to me. Like, this whole, like, being able to take the Switch mobily is, like, such a huge thing for so many genres of games. Like, to be able to have people buy it because they want to play it on the go more, but with the power of, like, an actual full-scale kind of game. It baffles me that why they don't go, let's put the fucking effort into making, like, a top-tier FIFA game. Yeah. Not just, like, just the legacy edition,
cut it down.
Or whatever.
Here you go.
Or let's grab some of the stuff, some of the more casual stuff from our backlog, and get it on there so we can sell, like The Sims,
money. Yeah, fucking
Plants vs Zombies. Come on, let's go.
Fucking crazy. Also, okay,
I'd play that on the Switch.
Plants vs Zombies. Which one? Because there's a more recent one, and it looks like trash. They've just gone so overboard. It's like
the first one, the original.
Yeah, the original's good, but there's a
modern
first-person shooter, not first-person shooter, like a third-person. You're like a robot traveling around and
Garden Warfare or whatever it was called.
Like that. It's just
they actually got a lot of traction. A lot of people played that.
I started playing it, and then I was just like, no, this is not what I wanted from Plants. Anyway, sorry.
Cool. So we're gonna have. So the thing that you alluded that I was looking up was a couple of Twitter accounts that I follow. One of them is for great video game analysis is Daniel Ahmad, and you see, if you watch a lot of like YouTube videos, people often quote him because he's very good analysis and managed to get his hands on some very trusted leaks, and it is now his job to do this kind of stuff.
These things.
So, and he comes out with some great statistical analysis of game sales and all this kind of stuff. This one here says, so this is recent as the
July.
PlayStation 4, we're talking about how well the Switch has been selling. The PlayStation 4 has actually become, I think, the world's best-selling console. It's like overtaking
of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is huge.
That's interesting.
They said, despite being 6 years old, this is from a tweet from Daniel. So, despite being nearly 6 years old, the PS4 shipped more than the Switch globally in the last quarter. The PlayStation 4 sale was 3.2 million in the quarter, and Switch sold 2.13 million. Those are fucking crazy numbers, I want to say. No matter, like, that's fucking crazy.
3 million consoles in 3 months. That's
a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a 6-year-old console.
That is a
and
lot.
also, the Switch selling 2.13 is fucking... honestly, it shows that those two are selling more than anything else at the moment. Like, just stripping everything back. He also goes on to say that, however, if you combine the Switch and the Wii U sales together, the total goes up to 2.13 million units.
Nothing changes.
Yeah. Oh, I see where he's going with this as well. This next one
consistently,
as well.
No, he just. Oh no. So that's a legitimate tweet. There's a lot of Wii U dunking that goes on. Yeah. Joke is Wii U is bad.
Wii U is just a blemish.
No one bought it.
It's just a bad point in history.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Wii, but that's funny, isn't it? Because look, now that we have the perspective of time on the Wii U, I don't know. that was really that bad. It was just kind of a weird in between stepping stone,
effectively
between the Wii and the Switch. That didn't really work out.
Because the thing is, they gave you a tablet, and then everyone's like, "Oh, so this is the second screen that I can like play on,"
and you couldn't really do much.
It's no, it's just a thing you can look at.
You just see, it's just a display, and then just gave you this clunky big ass controller for no reason.
And then I think
almost.
They must have had that question so much. Why the fuck can't I play the game on this?
Yeah,
and holding the pad up, and they went, "Why don't we just make the console
make
that?
Like, make that the console?" No, it's interesting, and I think another aspect that comes into play as well was a timing situation, similar to the Dreamcast, where the Dreamcast was fantastic. Just nobody bought it because everybody already had a PlayStation.
It was also too expensive.
And it was significantly more expensive than everything else. Whereas the Wii U wasn't, but it was just a matter of didn't quite deliver and bad timing comparative to everything else that was available.
So in conclusion, I think he's kind of talking. We think he's kind of talking in circles here. People don't buy games on the Switch because the games aren't on the Switch.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Like it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
I honestly
they don't want to make the investment to get it on the Switch.
I honestly think to them it's an investment, and they're also just like, honestly, they made. Do you know they made 20 of last year's financial revenue? Their profit. 23% of their profit came from FIFA Ultimate Team. All of EA.
Yeah,
the whole thing. Yeah, 23%. One mode in one game.
Yeah, and how much of that is from people getting way in over their heads, spending money that they don't have?
FIFA Ultimate Team is all that. That's 100% of that.
No, but that's what I mean. Like how much of that is how much of that is problem gambler money?
Yeah,
I would say a
vast majority,
pretty good fucking chunk.
Vast majority.
23% of EA's revenue. What the fuck? No, profit.
Profit.
Not revenue. Yeah, profit. 23% of profit. FIFA Ultimate Team. That game, they will fucking roll over dead. You can see like how hard they're fighting in like
for the legal
legal side and fighting governments and fighting everyone that wants to come after them, because it will cost them so much fucking money if they have to take that out. A quarter
of their money is just gone.
Like, more fifth. Like fifth to a quarter just fucking wiped off their books.
Just gone.
Well, I feel not sorry for them.
I mean, I don't give a shit either, but I'm just like
but
that's
you can
fucking
understand
crazy.
why they're fighting.
Those numbers are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So like, obviously they don't give a shit. They want to increase sales of FIFA Ultimate Team. Right. They really don't care if their shit's
it's on the Switch or not.
Have we got time to dunk on Bethesda as well?
Probably.
Let's do it.
We can do it in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
A quick dunk.
Okay.
Just a dip in the water.
Okay, right. So Bethesda, as we all know, now own id Software.
Yep.
Creators of the legendary 1993 release Doom.
You
may have heard of it.
All the Dooms are great.
Yeah.
Apart from 3. 3's not great. But the rest are fantastic.
I will fight you.
Cut you.
Fuck you. The game is awesome. No, 4. Sorry, I was talking about 4.
That's Doom 2016. You love that.
I thought that was
the
5th one.
You're thinking of Quake 4, I think.
I think, Doom and Quake, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, sure. Anyway, look, we're getting off topic. They released ports of Doom 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
For Switch.
Yes.
Everyone was rejoicing. Thinking,
Yay! The people are rejoicing.
We're gonna get some.
Long live Bethesda!
We're gonna get some sweet retro Doom on the go. And then they
a fantastic reason of putting shit on the Switch.
Then they booted it up, and it said a Bethesda account is required to continue.
And you're just like, are you fucking serious? For a port of a game that was made in 1993.
Right, so let's
online services, we're putting them in.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, it's what players want, all right? If it's what the players want, and they want to be online and they want to be able to talk to their friends.
They need that social aspect to their gaming.
To 1993's Doom.
Okay, so let's recap. Doom. For DOS in 1993.
19 goddamn 3.
I was 4 years old.
Was retrofitted with always online social account DRM.
What was Chris's comment about that? It was like, no, that was always their intent. They always wanted to put that into it from day one. That was the plan all along. They were just waiting for the prime time to
realize.
Right. So anyway, so memes ensue. They're pretty good. You can look for them on Twitter.
The memes are great.
Bethesda, about a day later, engaged in some furious backpedaling.
Oh, it was a mistake. It's a bug. Really? That's a big bug. That's a very big bug. Someone had to program in a whole bunch of screens.
An entire bug.
And functionality around the bug.
I accidentally built this functionality, guys.
I'm sorry. I just integrated it with Bethesda's social networking.
I think
didn't think about it.
It only took me 3 months. I'm sorry.
I think the joke here is the thread of corporate reasoning that led to such a feature being given the time and effort to actually put it in there.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's
fucking insanity.
What were they thinking? Holy smokes.
What this makes me like wonder and just kind of like not cringe, but just stick with wonder about is just that disconnect, because major game publishers, they're very much corporates now. They're just about making money.
Yeah.
They're about top dollar. What can we do to make more money? And the fact that they've come in with such a corporate mentality to just focus on making money, they are so disconnect from
the people that play the games.
They're very customers.
I don't even think we can give them that excuse anymore.
No. So I'm not making it as an excuse.
To be perfectly honest, because like games are still a young artistic medium, but they're not in their infancy anymore. You know what I mean? It's been how long ago now? Like 30, 40 years?
No, but I think we are in the period though that the people heading up these companies are not gamers, are people that have never played video games.
Yeah.
These are people that are like, I'm a business major and my last job was CEO of a fucking
such and such, like
a travel company or another tech company
or something like that,
or a banker. They're not like, okay, I play video games.
Okay, but
I know what the customer wants.
Like, it's not just on the seat. Like they might not have the background, but it's like
everyone else
that like works there. It's like we're entering like the middle parts of our careers now, right? You know?
Yeah.
There's got to be someone there that's been in the gaming their whole life. Surely.
Working in a consultancy, knowing the kind of clients that we have, you know the situation though.
But it's a mandate.
There are going to be people that are like, the customers don't want this. This isn't going to work. And then some higher up is going to be like, this is going to make us most money. This is what you need to do. And they're going to be like, well, shit, we're going to put in this integration piece because I'm going to lose my job otherwise. And they have no choice but to do what they're told.
I want to believe that they had people like of our generation that they actually trust and listen to when they make these decisions. But I know you're right.
That's my point around this disconnect. Right. It's very much how can we make the most money? Okay, let's put this social aspect because it's going to get them spending lots of little transactions. And that's going to make us a ton of money off this thing that probably wouldn't make a lot of money.
Now, to be fair, they didn't put microtransactions in, but still, you know.
But
I don't even. What even microtransactions could you even put into
to Doom?
My point is, they're thinking business of how can we make more money? What can we do? What can we make this game have?
We can put social integration in to drive further user engagement, not realizing that it's just going to push people away.
Exactly right. Yeah. So they're looking from one perspective and having this opinion and this view without validating it. It's like, this is what's worked for me before. This is the in thing right now. This social aspect is the in thing in gaming.
If it worked for Facebook,
do that.
If it worked for Facebook games, why the hell wouldn't it work for retro games? You know, Facebook games are that much more advanced. They've came that many more years later. That means they're more advanced. Therefore, we should take things from them rather than the original ones.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Right?
So my
Doom
point
needs
here...
to be more like Mafia was.
My point is... exactly to your point as well. I am very disappointed at that disconnect. I'm disappointed and just... I don't get why it's still to that extent where... there have been so many instances.
What happened to you, Bethesda? You used to be cool.
Yeah, Bethesda has far gone from its image. It's fucking fallen
years as well.
A very long
in
way.
recent years that we're seeing these games these game companies make these decisions that people are like, what were you thinking? But it's happening again and again and again, but yet it's still happening because business decisions are still being made from a business mindset rather than from a customer mindset.
And the worst part of it is, gamers that are younger than us are growing up in a world where this is normal.
This is the norm.
We're going to be stranded in the middle.
Yeah.
When they grow up and start making their games and thinking, and they're all going to have these sorts of things.
Maybe I don't know.
I think that's a different topic. I think that
you damn kids need to get off my fucking lawn.
I think the social aspect of things and the trends these days being the norm, I think that's an acceptable thing. I think the missing link or the issue here is the fact that the end users aren't being considered when these decisions are being made. So I think you can have a social integration into a game, whatever the game is, not Doom specifically, and that could be the right thing for that game if that's what people actually genuinely care about and want in that situation.
But they don't. They need to consider the audience. The audience for Doom. The audience for Doom 93 today are people that played Doom 93 back when it was, if not 100% current, but at least within striking distance. Maybe what they wanted to do though,
if they had social features, people like you and me would play. And then we would share that footage,
and then
some kid who's
15-year-old will be like, hell yeah,
born in 2003, would be like, hey,
this looks like a cool game,
and maybe I'll give that one a go.
This popular YouTuber that I like to follow is playing this game, so time for me to start playing.
Wow,
this game.
pinch your soul to playing Doom. I gotta get on that.
So again, that's the business logic behind it, and it's disappointing that the end user, the gamers, wants and needs aren't being factored, because if they factored it in, they would make so much more money, because it's like, we're giving you what you want. Shut up and take my money.
That's what Devolver does every year. They're just like, here's the fucking game. Yeah. There you go. Game's good. Everyone's like, the game is good.
The game is good. I will buy the game. I have bought this game and I will recommend it to everybody that I know.
CD Projekt Red do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
They're just like, here's a game. Maybe you'll get some DLC that we charge you $5-10 for 3 years from now. And you're like, okay, sure.
So the last thing that I do want to mention around that is, to your point of, you're worried about the kind of social norm that kids growing up today are having around games. I'm hoping that I'm totally okay with that. I'm hoping that companies, the AAA companies and the big Bethesdas and whoever, they're the ones that grow and evolve to take on the mentality of going, let's think about what our end users actually want and what they'll actually enjoy, rather than let's think about how we can make the most money. Because if you give them what they enjoy, you will make the most money.
No gamer ever said, we want loot boxes.
No,
right?
Never.
You know, there's something that we tolerate.
Yeah.
Because we want to play a specific game.
Yeah.
They're not a feature. You know, if I could play, and that applies to games which are loot box the game. If I could play Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering by buying a particular set for a set amount of money, you don't think I'd do that? I would totally do that.
Everyone would do that.
Yeah.
Anywho,
but that wouldn't make them as much money.
It wouldn't make them as much money. No.
That's something though that like with the card games, that's something that, because physical collectible trading card games do that, then that is just something that people accept when you play.
Yeah.
That is the one thing where loot boxes is like, that is an ingrained part of the that's how you play.
Yeah.
Which ain't great. But you know, welcome to collectible card games.
Yeah.
Okay. We have
sometimes
rambled.
Sometimes I wish. One last point before we stop. Sometimes I wish that Magic the Gathering hadn't been so damn good, so that business model hadn't caught on.
Crashed from day one. Yeah, it is what it is. Anywho, I think it is time for us to wrap this up. It has been a fantastic discussion. Thank you very much for listening all the way through all our ramblings and all our talks of dating virtual teachers and students.
Seriously, every podcast I'll give you guys an update of how it's going.
How his love
Adam's love corner. It's gonna be so it's so bad. I feel so fucking seedy. I'm like, I just, the game wants me to do it, but there's so much sexual innuendo, man. It's really awkward.
It's all
amongst these 16-year-olds.
It's like, oh no. I need an adult.
Right. So
I am the adult.
Tune in.
Tune in next time.
Check out some of our other stuff. Jump onto Discord. Jump into the comments. Let us know what you think about Fire Emblem, about this going-ons of Bethesda and the general trend of gaming as a whole. I am personally super curious as to what other people think in terms of what gaming will be like in like 20 years, whether it will be all microtransactions or whether the companies will kind of get their shit together and be like, let's
They're all
give
going
them
to be
good
pachinko
quality.
machines in 20 years. Only pachinko machines.
Nothing but pachinko machines. But yeah, no, let us know. Jump onto Discord. That's the best way for you to get in touch with us. There's a lot of conversations going on there. Anything in particular you're curious about or want to bring up as a topic of conversation, just throw them at us through the Discord channel or any other means of communicating with us. And on that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you all very much, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Huh.